Well, you keep moving away from me.
I had to yawn.
What was that? Hola and bienvenidos a la plate culture. Me llamo Lucas.
I'm Laura. Me llamo Laura.
There it is. Me llamo Laura. That's good.
My name is good for English, Spanish, and Finnish. This episode of Plate Culture, we're going to show you how we made Mexican tacos,
Or tacos al pastor,
Mexican street corn,
elote,
and our very own salsa verde.
salsa verde cruda. We also made our own homemade corn tortillas.
We hope you enjoy this video.
Welcome to Plate Culture. We are a YouTube channel and an Instagram page dedicated to sharing the different cultures of the world through a universal medium, which is food. And this week, we decided to share a little bit about the culture of Mexico. As you can probably tell from the title of the video, today we made tacos. What did we make? What are they? Pork belly tacos. Pork belly tacos al pastor, which is not the normal meat that you make al pastor with, but it worked out. Okay, guys? One thing that I think all of us have a misconception about is that Mexican food and Tex-Mex food is the exact same.
It's not.
And it's not. There are some great recipes straight from Mexico, like al pastor, like ceviche, and a lot of great Mexican dishes that are often confused with Tex-Mex. Both are delicious, both have their own culture. Today we did go with authentic Mexican food. That means no yellow cheese, no flour tortillas. What else?
No guacamole.
No, well, yeah. Oh, you can have guacamole. They have avocados in Mexico. But no yellow cheese, so no queso, no cheddar. It is no Mexican 4-cheese blend from Kirkland Signature. The food culture of Mexico, especially in the Oaxaca and Mexico City region, are so diverse, so vibrant that they are worth exploring. One day we will go deep into the Oaxaca region, which is known for mole, which is a type of
Chocolate.
food that has chocolate in it, but it's not sweet. So it's really interesting. I want to bring that to you guys at some other time. Today we made tacos al pastor with a little bit of a twist. We made it with pork belly instead of pork shoulder. I didn't even do my hair this morning. Does it look good? Does it look fine? Literally did not look at my hair before this started.
It's okay.
It's a lesson for you guys. If you do a YouTube channel, make sure you look at the mirror.
At least brush your teeth.
Did I? Yeah, I did. All right, so normally when I make tacos al pastor, I will marinate the meat for about 24 hours ahead of time. However, this time around, we decided to braise the pork belly and some chicken instead of marinating and then just cooking it on a stovetop. So braising is a process in which you let something tenderize by being in the oven for a long period of time. So the first thing you want to do in the braising process is you want to brown the meat that you are braising. So we took a half pound of pork belly and 2 chicken breasts. So there's one side of the pork belly that's got a thick strip of fat. You want to make sure you score through that. So I like to do it what's called sometimes a Hasselback style. So you slice it diagonally in 2 different directions so it creates these diamonds. By scoring the meat in this way, you can make sure that the pork belly gets super flavorful throughout by soaking in as much of it as possible. Once you have scored the meat, you want to put it into a hot pan with some vegetable oil in it and make sure that it gets well browned on every single side. This allows it to really develop some good flavor and some good texture in the oven. It's not gonna taste like it's boiled, it's gonna taste crispy when it comes out, and it's gonna be delicious. Now, once this meat has browned and you have it in a pot that can go in the oven, you want to go ahead and make the sauce that you're braising it in. So in order for the meat to become tender in the oven, it has to be covered with some kind of sauce, and so I made a al pastor sauce. You have a variety of different types of chiles that have been dried, and so I brought a little visual presentation. This is a bag of chiles that you might find at a Mexican grocery store, and these are chile ancho pods, And you want to make sure you get some of these dried chiles, a variety of them. Anchos are good, pasilla is good, de arbol is good, all of these. And you want to take these stems off and de-seed them. And once you have done so, you want to toast them on a hot pan until they are aromatic. So once you start smelling them and they smell delicious, then you can take them off and you put those into a food processor. Along with the chiles, you want to add some orange juice, some lime juice, cumin, a little bit of oregano, and cilantro. In addition, you also want to throw in about a half of a white onion into the food processor, a few cloves of garlic, salt and pepper, and then you finish it off with some olive oil. And once you blend that, that should turn into a good liquidy texture. You can't use that one. You pour that right over the top of all of your meats that are in the pot, and you want to cover that and put it in the oven for 1 to 2 hours. Now, I don't have a specific time limit for you to keep it in the oven. However, after about an hour, hour and a half, the meat's going to be really tender, and it will be up to your judgment as to when you want to take it out based on the amount that the sauce is evaporated, as well as the tenderness of the meat.
While the meat is in the oven, this is the great opportunity to prepare any sides that you might want. We decided to do my personal favorite, Mexican street corn.
Or
elote.
I don't know if that's pronounced correctly. Let me know in the comments.
To make this corn, you gotta shuck it.
Shuck the corn.
You gotta boil it. And you just gotta wait for it to be done.
Lots of recipes will tell you to use mayo when you're making street corn. Do not do this. Authentic street corn is crema mexicana, and it's delicious, and it's worth making a separate trip to a Mexican grocery store in order to find some. Crema mexicana is a type of cream you can find at Mexican grocery stores. I like to say it's a mix between sour cream and mayo, and it's just this creamy, delicious, it's so hard to describe, but it's incredible.
It's the cream cheese of Mexico. Is it? I don't know. Once your corns are done boiling, you take them out, let them cool just a little bit, and you add your toppings. These toppings include crema mexicana.
Brush it on.
Tortilla, which is cheese, and it's really good. Lime, chili powder, and salt. You can add as little or as much as you want. I personally like to coat the entire ear in the crema mexicana and the cotija cheese. It's magnificent.
While she was making the corn, I also decided to make a fresh salsa for us to be eaten with the tacos and also as a little appetizer. So making your own salsas is delicious and a lot of times can be better than your typical store-bought salsas. So for this salsa, you don't have to cook anything. All you have to do is add all the ingredients to your blender or food processor and blend it until it is thoroughly blended. I didn't want to say it, but it was the only word that worked. So for this one, you want to take 7 or 8 good-sized tomatillos, which are little small green tomatoes that have this interesting leaf surrounding it, and then you add a single serrano pepper. You don't want to add too much of this because they're really spicy. Also, you want to put in a half of a white onion. So use 1/2 the white onion for the al pastor, use the other half for this part. In this salsa, you also do a half of an avocado, which you normally don't see in salsas, but it adds a creamy texture to the salsa. And then also a few leaves of lettuce.
Oh, really?
Yeah. All of this is really just for texture more than it is flavor. Obviously, there's not much flavor in lettuce, so it's really just there for texture. So once that's all blended together, you pour that into a serving cup. You can eat it with chips. You can pour it on your tacos. We did a little bit of both.
Yeah.
So it's delicious. Great little salsa, super easy. Just make sure you pick up the ingredients next time you're at the store.
To really make these tacos authentic, we decided to make our own tortillas.
Yes.
To do this, you need
Harina de maíz.
and water. It's really easy. You just mix
2 cups of the harina and 1 1/3 cup of water.
Yep, you just mix those together and it becomes a
It's almost like Play-Doh.
Play-Doh-y texture.
It's really fun to play with.
Yes.
But don't play with your food.
Once you've mixed these 2 ingredients, you take a small bit about the size of a ping pong ball, you roll it up, and then you get to utilize this great tool that we have called a
Tortilla press.
It looks like a weight that you put on a bar at a gym, but we put some parchment paper on either side just to make sure that the dough doesn't stick to this machine.
Yep.
And then we set them off to the side until they're ready to be cooked.
If you don't have a tortilla press, like most people, you can also do this by hand.
Or with a rolling pin.
Or with a rolling pin. All these work. After you have made your tortillas in the tortilla press, you want to cook them on a cast iron skillet if you have one. If not, a really hot normal pan will work as well. You want to make sure this is dry, there's no oil on it. You're supposed to get a little bit of a puff of the tortilla. It's supposed to rise a little bit and separate the bottom and the top layer. I didn't get that every time. I'm working on my tortilla cooking skills and my technique.
It's crazy how cheap it is.
Yes.
You can buy a bag of this stuff for what?
$4?
$4. You have like 100 tortillas. It's crazy.
Probably. More so, probably.
Yeah.
And with the money you save, you can buy a tortilla press. Now the final part of the process is to put your tacos together. We have these little taco trays that are really helpful for keeping your tacos upright. Now your traditional toppings for tacos al pastor in Mexican food are white onion, chopped, diced, lime wedge, cilantro, cotija cheese, and cooked pineapple.
What?
We forgot the pineapple. I'm just now realizing.
That would have been so good.
Literally this exact moment is when I realized that we forgot to put pineapple. Pineapple is super important to the al pastor recipe. I apologize. And then at the very end, you want to top it off with a little bit of your salsa verde cruda.
So the food was delicious. We ended up pairing it with some Topo Chico and Mexican Coke and one other
Jarritos.
Jarritos.
This is a great dish. It's very cost effective for a large group of people. You can make a lot of food for a small amount of money. It's naturally gluten-free because you're using corn products only. This is pretty typical of authentic Mexican food. There's very little gluten in it. So for you gluten-free people out there, this is a great option to make. And then you can also keep it dairy-free pretty easily. And so for you guys out there that have these food allergies, this is a very great recipe. And then you eat it all.
Till it's gone.
Thank you guys so much for following along.
This episode of Plate Culture, we're going to show you how we made Mexican tacos.
Just say tacos.
This week on Plate Culture, we made tacos el pastor.
Nope. You are incorrect.
What do we make?
Al pastor.